Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 houses that are zombie proof. So these are a collection of really weird but cool houses which were either built for impenetrable security or to keep out zombies. And whether you guys just want to see some insane houses or if you're a little crazy and you're using this as tips for a zombie apocalypse, I hope you enjoy the video. And guys, be sure to subscribe and comment I subscribed and I will reply. So coming in at number 10 we have Concrete Safe House. So this house is located in Warsaw in Poland, and it's basically a maximum security prison mixed with a modern mansion. And this was made by a Polish building company called KWK, and they were hired by a guy called Robert Koinzing, who said he wanted the world's best safe house, and this thing has some insane features. For example, I'm sure you guys are all like, well, it's not really zombie proof, I mean look at all of the windows and doors. Well, that's the crazy thing about this, which is that it can actually shapeshift, because if you press one button on a remote, all of the windows and doors close into concrete and metal, just like the rest of the house. But don't be fooled thinking this is a boring and simple house, because it does have some cool features which aren't anything to do with keeping out zombies or annoying neighbors, like a decent sized indoor swimming pool and even a massive wall which doubles up as a giant TV. And yeah, I'm sure all of these shape-shifting things, metal reinforced doors and concrete walls will keep out just about any zombie. And as I say, probably annoying neighbors too. And if those things weren't enough, that cat looks pretty mad. But yeah, when I first saw this, I thought who'd want to live there, but after seeing how cool this is inside, I might just have to move to Poland. But coming up next, we have Remote Island. So this is a really weird house. Well, actually the house isn't that weird, it's pretty normal. It's more the location that's insane, and the backstory to this is really weird too. So this is a viral photo and a lot of people think this is fake, but no, this is actually real, and it's on a remote island in Iceland. And the island was owned by the Icelandic government, but they actually gave it to someone who's probably the most famous person from Iceland, which is singer Björk. And this was so controversial when the government did this because everybody thought it was weird that they would give a whole island to someone just for being famous, especially as Björk already has a net worth of 45 million. But yeah, I personally think this would be the perfect place to hide out during a zombie apocalypse, and that's because there's only one way to get to this, which is by a ferry, which was also given to Björk by the Icelandic government. And even then, it looks pretty hard to get to because of the rocky landscape and huge hills. But yeah guys, comment if you think they should have given this to Björk or not. So coming up next, we have Waterhole. So this one is actually located in the middle of water, which is already very isolated, but apparently that wasn't enough for this homeowner, because they also made it in a huge hole. So even if you did manage to get a boat or swim to this guy's island thing, you just end up falling down a massive hole instead of getting to the actual house. And this image went viral because of a photo with the caption, "They said I was crazy," because apparently the guy who designed this lives in the house and is worried about a zombie outbreak or an outbreak of a disease. So he built this to make sure he can always have somewhere to go where no one else can. And this house is actually pretty big itself, and they even have fake grass just to make it seem like a normal house that just randomly happens to be in the middle of the sea. Oh, and if the owner of the house is watching this, if there's ever an apocalypse, send me your address, man. But seriously guys, do you think the person who made this is really crazy or really smart? Honestly, I haven't made up my mind. So coming up next, we have Kentucky Castle. So if you guys thought the house in the sea or the house that Björk owns is big, well then nothing compared to this house, which looks like a maximum security prison on the outside, but looks like a castle inside. And that's because this is modeled on a real castle which is in Versailles in France, but as you guys can tell by the name, this is in Kentucky in America, and you guys are never going to be able to get in here because of the fence right there. Nah guys, I'm just kidding, that's not the reason you or any zombies can't get in. The actual reason is because it's enclosed in a giant stone wall which covers the whole 50 acres of land which the castle has. And this is in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by forests and fields, and there's only one dirt road to get to this, so I doubt that many people visit. But inside, this place is insane and genuinely looks like the most lavish house ever, complete with a tennis court, poker room, bar, car collection and tennis court, and obviously like a million more rooms. And if you guys are wondering how much this zombie-proof castle would cost you, well in 2014 a lawyer from Florida bought it for $30 million, and he just uses it as a holiday home and as a backup house in case of a zombie attack, I'm assuming. But coming up next, we have Nike Missile Base. And before you guys ask, no, Nike didn't make their very own zombie-proof house. This is actually a missile base which is pronounced Nike, not Nike. But anyways, this is different to most missile bases. And if you guys haven't already seen why in the images, that's because above ground there's only a small metal fence around it, and it looks like a medium-sized house or maybe even a barn. So you're probably asking, how is this going to protect you in an apocalypse? Well, underground this thing has over 16,000 square feet of space, and one guy bought this missile base and made it into a luxury house with a pool, modern art, and even an awesome spiral staircase. And it wasn't even that much money, seeing as it's over 16,000 square feet, which would normally cost millions. So yeah, if you guys don't mind living like a mole underground in the middle of nowhere, then this place is for you. But this place does have some really useful things like electric generators, fuel and water storage units, and just about anything else you might need to survive anything that happens above ground. I mean, it sounds good, but I don't know if I'd want to live underground to get this luxury house. You know what, I'm perfectly happy where I am right now. But coming up next, we have Dunbar Rock. So this is an another isolated island which is located off the coast of Honduras. And this is a huge house which actually has 4 floors, which is one of the reasons why I think this would make a great zombie-proof house. And this place honestly looks really nice, like damn, maybe even luxury. I mean, this looks like somewhere Kim Kardashian might go if there was a zombie apocalypse. And this place used to be a resort hotel kind of thing for divers, so let's say zombies did invade there, don't worry because there's a ton of diving gear so you guys could escape the island pretty easily. And this place would also be good for an apocalypse because you'll never run out of food there because the waters are where lots of fishing boats go to catch fish, meaning there's lots of food in the area. And this place even has a swinging chair, so while everyone else is dying and becoming infected by zombies, you can chill out and post Instagram photos to make all of your friends envious. The only problem with this place is that you can't get past the mini beach without a helicopter. That's right guys, the roof of this building is a helipad. So next up we have Atlas F. So during the Cold War between the USA and the Soviet Union, America built a load of these military bases to store nuclear weapons in. But obviously the Cold War is now over, and to raise some money the government is now selling these nuclear missile bases. And one of these is called Atlas F, and it was sold to a social worker from Kansas called Bruce. And he bought it for a fairly cheap price, but he totally pimped it out. He installed a modern kitchen, cool lighting everywhere, and a bachelor pad style bedroom. And if you're thinking, well, this looks pretty small, how did he have room for all of that stuff? Well, this thing is 8 floors deep. So it's basically an inverted skyscraper, and he even admits there's too much room. And he bought this back in 1999 for only $99,000, but now it's valued at nearly $700,000. And if any of you guys are interested in living in one of these places, there are still some up for sale, so get them now while you still can. And this isn't even some kind of crazy one-off. There's still a lot of these houses underneath or inside military missile silos, which are sometimes sold for as little as $100,000. So coming up next we have Shiame Tower. So this may look a little bit shifty, but this is actually a really useful building for safety. It's located in Japan near a large old coal mine and used to be a load of massive modern offices and rooms. But in 1961, when the coal mine shut down, it was abandoned and no one's ever fixed it again. And the building is 200 feet tall, and it has control rooms and cables and even working machinery. And the building is known in the area of Japan for being a massive eyesore, and it's also sort of a meme in Japan. But yeah, this place should make a great anti-zombie fortress because of its massive rooms and concrete walls, all supported by a massive grid of concrete slabs underneath it. And even though this is abandoned and used to be an office of an old coal mine, apparently some people have traveled to it and you can just walk in with nothing to stop you. Okay, maybe that doesn't sound too zombie secure, but looking at the structure, I doubt any zombies would actually be able to get up there. Oh, and if you guys have kids, there's a park literally right outside. I mean, can you imagine a building like this anywhere near your local park where your kids play? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I know exactly where I'm going to go if there's ever a zombie breakout. So coming up next, we have Summit Shock. So this is actually an abandoned prison in New York, and I think this would be great as a zombie-proof house because, I mean, if it's supposed to keep people from getting out, I'm sure it can keep people from getting in. And not only that, it's also in an area with not much stuff around it, so it has a load of amenities already there, like a massive water tank to keep you hydrated, a water cleansing facility to keep sustainable water when the water tank runs out, and to keep you warm and rich, there's also a petroleum storage tank. And if you're worried about personal hygiene during the zombie breakout, then don't worry guys, because there's a fully working sewer system, which I guess could also double up as a hiding spot. And guys, don't worry if zombies do invade one of the buildings on this prison complex, because the whole complex is made up of 37 buildings, and this place used to hold over 14,000 prisoners, so if you do want to take refuge there in the place of a zombie apocalypse, then you can bring your whole family along with you, and maybe even your favorite YouTuber too. Hint hint. And you're probably thinking, well, this sounds great, but I bet it costs millions. Well, no, because in 2014, one guy who must know something that we don't bought this for only $200,000. And coming up next, we have Ark 2 Shelter. So this shelter was built in case of a worldwide disaster like a nuclear war or something, but I'm sure it would work great in the event of a zombie apocalypse too. And what's really unique about this place is how it was built. So the people who built this used 42 school buses and connected them together and then put them in a giant hole in the ground and then laid 14 inches of reinforced concrete over them. And because this place was made to live in forever, there's pretty much everything that's in your day-to-day life now down there too, like dentists, doctors, libraries, beds, bathrooms, and just about anything else you might need. And if you guys ever want to go here during a zombie outbreak, then sorry, because its location is top secret and all that's known is that it's in Canada. But apart from that, the only way to get more information is to either pay a lot of money or to go to meetings on how to survive the end of the world. So if you're either very rich or very paranoid about zombies, then try and find out where Ark 2 actually is. Just be sure to DM me the location. And that just about wraps up this video. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you guys can vote for the craziest house. For me, it's the concrete safe house, just because that genuinely looks so awesome. And to be honest, I'd be down to just use it as a regular house. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe.